If he knows who he is, my friends, then let's keep mewing. Let's bring out the catnip and have a ball. There we go, we're live. Or is it Memorex? Oh, hard to say. I'll let Mookie go out for a little because Coda and Aries were out there, but they went back in. And then he went to hide in the sticks, so I can't have him. They're actually the bushes, but right now they just look like sticks with no leaves on them. So that's what I call them, the sticks. Anyway, we got a game today. Oh my, and the IBA draft continues. Did I just make my 5th round pick? Yeah, I didn't have a 2nd round pick, so I picked 4 players. Gonna pick 20, so it's gonna take a while at 3 rounds a day. But I like that pace. It's easy to catch up. You don't have to sit there glued to the draft thing, glued to the laptop. And you pick at the same time every day, unless you have traded or have picks that you've traded for, which are not your original picks. But I don't have any acquired picks. I traded my 2 and my 8 in the Shohei Ohtani deal, who I paid too much for. And I don't care. I'm fine with that. When somebody puts out a message saying we're taking offers on Shohei Ohtani, you kind of have to throw your hat in the ring, don't you? Especially in a league where you only get 15 keepers, because he only counts as 1 keeper and you get a hitter and a pitcher. Not many innings for 25, of course, but I'm hoping that'll change next year. This team probably not a contender, but I'm hoping that next year it will be. Today we begin a 4-game series. That's going to be Baltimore at California. And it's the Devils game. Yeah. There was a song by Kansas, wasn't it? Wasn't that on the Songs for America album? One of my favorites, actually. That and Left Overture, of course, although Mask is pretty good. A lot of people will say Point of No Return. It's okay, but I kind of think they'd sold out by then, honestly. They were trying to do another Left Overture, basically. It always irritates me when bands do that. It's still a pretty good album, though. I'm not going to totally pan it. Song for America, yeah, which had the awesome Down the Road, the Lamplight Symphony, In Commudro, Hymn to the Atman, and of course, The Devil Game, yeah. Hello there, Franklin. God, there's another great song from obviously a great album. Everybody's top 100 list. Hi there, Gerald. Hello, Unmitigated. Hi, Jim. Hello, Ben. Oh, I'm just rambling, Ernest. He didn't miss anything. 2 lefties pitching today. It's Dave McNally for the Orioles, Clyde Wright for the Angels. Lately, I feel like I've been veering off topic a little more. I will tell you, here's an update on the coffee scene. Okay, now I'm doing 5 scoops for 6 cups. I'd have to say right now it's just about perfect. Stats for these 2 pitchers. McNally has had a fine season for the Orioles. 7-3, 2.85. 13 starts, 6 complete games, including a shutout. Across the board on McNally's numbers, 104 1/3 innings, 88 hits allowed, 32 walks, 77 strikeouts. For Clyde Wright, this is just his 3rd start of the season. He worked 13 games out of the pen and picked up a save. He's 2-4, 2.70. So Wright has also pitched well for the Angels, albeit in just 33 innings. It looks to me like this was the season when Wright broke into the rotation. And he would go on to be a 20-game winner later for the Angels, 1970, I think. See, I remember that card. And that card always underperformed. That's another thing I remember about that card. Orioles bring an 8-game winning streak into this one. They are on a roll and have opened up their lead in the American League. That's right. Their lead over the Twins now stands at 8. An 8-game lead over the second-place Twins. Lineup for the Orioles. Basically their same lineup as last game against the left-handed starter. Aparicio at short leads off. Boog Powell at first base. Once again in the 2 spot. Frank Robinson, of course, bats 3rd and plays right field. Brooks Robinson in the cleanup spot at 3rd base. Sam Bowens, the left fielder, hitting 5th. Dave Johnson at 2nd. Paul Blair once again gets a start in center against the left-hander. Andy Etchebarren, the catcher, hits 8th. And McNally, a 3-hitting pitcher, in the 9 spot. Umpires for today's game include Bill Haller behind the plate, Emmett Ashford at first, Johnny Stevens at second, and Bob Stewart at 3rd base. There was a disc jockey named Johnny Stevens in the LA area. Franklin likes McNally overall the best. He and Barber have been the 2 best. Palmer close behind. I mean, for McNally and Palmer, they were both very young still. This was just the beginning of their run. And as good as the Orioles were in '66, they would go on to get better. Is that all-time, Franklin, or just in this era? Is he your all-time favorite O's pitcher? Barber had a great year, but yes, Ernest, that's very true. He'd be pretty much done shortly after this year. I've got a thing from the baseball buffet. And I'm going to give you the... What the hell? Well, now I lost it. Birthday boys today. One of our birthday boys today is Eddie Murray. Born the same year I was, 1956. So here's your trivia question. In the decade of the 80s, 80 to 89, Eddie Murray was 3rd in home runs. Which 2 players had more home runs than Eddie Murray in the 80s. Schaefer Beer Batter is Adcock. All-time favorite for Franklin is McNally. That's cool. I kind of liked Cuellar, but I liked McNally too. Tribe fan. Hello, Tribe fan. Yep, absolutely. The other one's pretty easy too, I think, actually. So we're going to play ball. Let me find the answers. There it is. It was not Dwight Evans, but that was a good guess. Evans was right behind Murray in fourth with 256. Murray had 274. Mike Schmidt led the decade with 313. And unmitigated gets it, Dale Murphy. Yep, 308. So let's get the game started. Why not, right? That's why we're here, I think. Here's Aparicio to lead it off against Clyde Wright. Aparicio hitting .242, 2 home runs, 31 RBIs. Here comes Aparicio's pitch. Wright's pitch on a 6-6 righty. Aparicio lifts it to straightaway center. Cardinal is there to make the catch, and we are underway. Well, we'll bring up Boog Powell, who, of course, leads the club in batting at .330. High among the league leaders in that category. 17 home runs for Boog and 46 RBIs. Powell, who gives up some on base against lefties, but still has the power. Wright comes in with a breaking ball, 2-7, struck him out. And with 2 down, here's Frank Robinson. Frank hitting .288, leads the league in home runs with 21, and has 52 RBIs, also ranking among the league leaders in that category. Clyde Wright gets the shine. It's a 2-8 lefty. Little comebacker to Wright. He scoops it up, tosses it over to Adcock, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Clyde Wright. So after half an inning of play, Baltimore 0, California coming to bat against Dave McNally. One thing I can tell you about this Angel team, while they haven't hit much on the season, they do hit left-handers very well. And it's not hard to see why. Here's the lineup. Jose Cardinal in center. Jimmy Pearsall in right field. Jim Fregosi, the shortstop. Joe Adcock at first in the cleanup spot. Rick Reichart is in left field. Bobby Knopp at second base hits sixth. Paul Schalz at third. Tom Satriano, interestingly, a left-handed hitter, gets the nod at catcher today. He'll bat eighth. And Wright, the pitcher. Who's hot? Powell. Last 10 days, .333, 3 homers, 10 RBIs. So here's Cardinal to lead it off. There he is. There's Jeremiah. Hello. He made a hard felt, quiet dice tower. Cool. You don't have a picture or anything, do you? That would be cool to see. Oh, excuse me. Cardinal hitting .254, 7 home runs, 28 RBIs. McNally into the windup. Pitch to Cardinal on a 5-3 right-handed grounder to first base. X, tough chance for Powell. 3-17. Here's the play. On an 18, he's got it. Throws to McNally covering. Nice play, Boog. That'll bring up Jimmy Pearsall. Pearsall hasn't played all that much, but he is hitting .307 in 75 at bats. No home runs. Not a power hitter. And actually, looking at the card, it looks like he's much better against right-handed pitching than he is against left. McNally into the windup, 2-8 lefty. Flies it to center field, fairly deep. Blair drifts back and hauls it in. And here's Jim Fregosi now, the shortstop, leading the team in most offensive categories. Batting average, .309. He has 8 home runs, and he leads in RBIs with 42. The windup and the pitch from McNally. 3-11. Foul ball back to the plate. Echebarren back. Tosses the mask aside and puts it away. And McNally responds with a 1-2-3 inning of his own. And after an inning of play, we're scoreless. Anthony Perkins flies to center. I don't get that one, I'm afraid. You don't mean the actor, do you? That's very true, Jim. I can see why the Angels screwed up and let him go. Yeah, at the end of yesterday, I made some reference to the Artie Moreno thing. I will tell you, growing up in Orange County, a Dodger fan, everybody I knew in my neighborhood anyway were Angel fans. So I used to take a lot of delight in giving them a lot of crap. And to some extent, I still do. Especially in the Moreno eras. It's really hard not to because, my goodness, what a mismanaged organization. It's almost a joke, really, isn't it? That would drive me crazy if I was rooting for that. I'll tell you that right now. Second inning. Brooks Robinson comes to bat with a .284 average, 8 home runs, 50 RBIs. The 50 RBIs second on the team to Frank Robinson. Clyde Wright gets his sign from Satriano, which is a 5-5 righty. Robinson lifts a high fly ball the other way to right. Pearsall drifting over. And there's one down. So 2 control pitchers today, and I'd say they're coming right at him. And they are throwing strikes, but nothing over the heart of the plate. And they're getting some quick outs on pitches on the edge. Here's Bowens now. Bowens on the season has not hit well. He's hitting just .135, 10 for 74. He does have a home run. Right into the windup, 4-7 right-handed. That's a liner to third. That's going to go into left field for a base hit, single to 19 on a 14. And it's Sam Bowens with the first hit of the ball game. Bowens with good speed and a good base stealer. Let's check the Angel battery now. Wright with a good hold, -3. But Satriano with a +2 arm. So -1 battery, 17. Bowens held on at 15. And he's going to roll for it with one down. 2 through 5 or 11. 10, he does not get it. And here's the next pitch to Davy Johnson. From the stretch, it's a 6-11, base hit into right field. Bowens can go to third, 14-16. Pearsall a +1, 17. Bowens is headed for third. Throw is cut off by Knopp. And it will be runners on the corners, 1 down for Paul Blair. Blair hitting .245, 1 home run, 29 RBIs. He does have 16 extra base hits. And how are the Angels going to play this early on? Blair does not ground into double play, so they're going to pull the infield in. Infield in for Blair. From the stretch on a 2-6, fly ball to center, B question mark. Cardinal makes the catch. Bowens can tag. 14-16. Is that to center? Cardinal with a -2 arm. 14. That's the second out. Bowens is tagging. They're going to send him. 1-14. The throw to the plate. He scores. Sac fly Blair. Bowens hustles home with the first run of the game. 1-0 Baltimore, and here's Andy Etchebarren. Etchebarren hitting .266, 7 home runs, 27 RBIs. Right set now from the stretch. 4-7 right-hand. It looks like another base hit. Liner to third to 19. He knocks it down but has no play. Base hit Etchebarren with Johnson stopping at second. That'll bring up the pitcher, Dave McNally. McNally throws left but bats right. 3W. The pitch is a 2-5, struck him out. And that'll end the inning. Orioles get a run on 3 hits, leave a pair. And they take a 1-0 lead to the bottom of the second. Oh, he played Pearsall. It was a movie called Fear Strikes Out. I'm unfamiliar with that, Ernest. Was that a baseball movie? I assume it was. So how was Pearsall Well, no, because that was a fly ball. Oh, I see what you mean. So Johnson would have tagged up and gone to third. Okay, first and third, sac fly to center. It was a B question mark, though. So the runner on second, and Ben, you know better than I, but I'm looking at the rule here. The runner on second would not. Plus Johnson was at first base. So how would he tag up? But it was a fly ball. Can you do that? See, I'm confused now. It was a fly ball B question mark. Only the runner on third can tag. True? He wouldn't tag from first to go to second, would he? That never happens. He'd have to tag up, though. I'm going to stand by this one. Usually Ben's always right, but on a fly ball B question mark, I can't ever think of an example where the runner on first tagged and went to second. Hello, Steineken, or Steniken. Hello, Madden Vids. Maybe that is a super advanced cutoff. I'm hoping for more clarification from Ben, who really knows the rules about as well as anybody. Only on hits, Ben. Yeah, I do play that, but only on a hit, not on a fly ball out. Let's say it's first and second, there's a base hit, runner on second's trying to score, and I throw to the plate. If the roll falls within the trail runner's running rating, he goes to third. But a runner standing on first is not going to tag up and take second on a fly ball to center field. I just don't think I've ever seen that. I'm sure it's happened, but that would have to be a rarity. Okay, 1-0, bottom of the second. Adcock with a fearsome card against lefties coming up. On the season, Adcock hitting .314, 7 home runs, 26 RBIs in just 102 at-bats. McNally gets the sign. Here's the windup and the pitch. It's a 6-5 righty. Grounder shortstop X. Into the hole goes Aparicio, the Gold Glover with the 118. Scoops it up on a 4. Throws him out. What a play by Aparicio. Just to get to that ball was amazing. And that's going to go down as a web gem as Aparicio robs Adcock of a base hit. So Aparicio flashing the leather yet again. And here's Reichard hitting .300 on the year, 16 home runs, which ranks among the league leaders, and 38 RBIs. McNally with the windup and the pitch is a 4-8 righty. Grounder to third, single to 3. That's going to be fielded by Brooks Robinson, who throws him out. I thought Adcock was the beer batter. So the cutoff rule may be invoked. Thank you, Madden. When a runner has the option to score on a throw from the outfield. Does that include? Yeah, it does. Includes a fly ball B question mark. It sounds, even that though, Madden, to me, that sounds like the runners are already in motion. And again, I maintain that a runner on first base is not going to be in motion on a fly ball to center field. He's probably going to play it about a third of the way. And then when he sees it's going to be caught, he goes back to first base. I mean, I'm trying to apply common sense to it. And I don't use the cutoff rule. We're not playing that. Okay, here's Knopp with 2 down. McNally into the windup. 6-10 righty, fly ball to straightaway center. Blair is there. And McNally makes short work of the Angels in the bottom of the second. So 2 innings in the books. It's 1-0 Orioles. Orioles once again searching for their 9th consecutive win today. And they'll send up the top of the order in the third. What if it's De La Cruz? You might see anything from that guy. I'm still kind of waiting for Ben to point out to me how I'm wrong. I will say this, I cannot think of a single example in all my years of playing Strat where I've ever had a runner, other than a fly ball A, tag up on first and go to second. Wright pitching to Aparicio now. Here's the windup and the pitch. It's a 2-6 lefty, and that's banged up the middle for a leadoff single. So the speedy Aparicio aboard to start off the third. -3 +2. 16 held at 14. And Powell, a left-handed hitter at the plate. Aparicio's going to try to roll for that 14. 2 through 5, 11 or 12. That's a 3. He's got it. There he goes. Now I forgot what his thing was. 1 to 14. There goes Aparicio. The throw, he's caught stealing. Fine throw by Satriano to nail him. And here's the next pitch to Powell. 1-8 lefty. He struck him out again. But Madden, I've never even seen that in the computer game, which I play a lot of, which all uses the super advanced rules. You know what? Give me the... I'm going to finish the inning. God damn it. Okay, Wright pitching to Frank Robinson. Here's the pitch. 4-4 shortstop X. That's Fregosi. Fregosi into the hole. 236. Here's the play on a 7. He's got it. Plants and throws in time. So a nice play by Fregosi to end the top of the third. I want to look this up now. Why not? One thing about having played now is I'm not as worried. When I first started doing this, I was really overly concerned with the pace of the game. I still think that's important, don't get me wrong, but I don't mind veering off topic a little bit or to taking the time to look at things like this. What's the rule number, Madden Vids? Fly ball A, B, or C, or B question mark. Fly ball A, B, or C. Fly ball B question mark. If it's not the third out, runner on third base may tag up. On a fly ball B to right only, a runner at second may tag up. Here we go, super advanced cutoff. So it must be this one. If there's a runner at third and at least one more runner on base when the fly ball B question mark occurs, the offense decides to send the runner. The defense has the option of cutting off the throw to the plate. Holds the other runners. If the defense throws home, the offensive manager must decide whether to allow the trail runners to attempt to advance. Lead runners 15, center fielder -2. Safe chance is 8. Okay, I get it now. But I don't use the super advanced cutoff rule. And even if I did, if it was a 1 through 8, and I'm on defense, I'd cut it off and try to throw Johnson out at second. So once again, I maintain that Johnson would not try to go at 1 through 8. It makes it easy that they used 1 through 15 as the example because that's what Johnson is. But I'll tell you what, even in the computer game, I don't think I've ever seen that. I've seen the runner on second try to go to third. But for the like I say, I reiterate, for the life of me, other than a fly ball A, I cannot remember a runner at first tagging up and going to second. Anyhow, it would not apply to my game anyway. My modification of the cutoff is for runners advancing on hits only, not on fly balls. Bottom of the third, it's the bottom third of the order for California. Paul Shaw steps in. Shaw hitting .254, 4 homers, 15 RBIs, a walk master. Shaw among the leaders in walks with 42. So Shaw with a good eye at the plate. McNally runs the count full and comes in with a 1-8. Rolls it to short. Aparicio to Powell. 1 down for the catcher, Tom Satriano. Satriano batting just 180 in limited duty. No home runs. Fastball, 3-2. Grounds it to second. Davey Johnson's there, flips it over to Powell, and there's 2 quick outs for McNally. And here's Clyde Wright. Also throws left, bats right. It's a 1-9, struck him out. So Dave McNally sailing along through 3, and his club ahead 1-0. So since I saw you guys, that means I made 2 other picks, doesn't it? My 3rd round pick was Sal Stewart, the Cincinnati first baseman. I had no 2nd round pick. My 1st round pick was Samuel Basallo. So between Basallo and Stewart, I'll get absolutely nothing out of them this season. But these are picks for the future. In the 4th round, I took Devin Williams. And just recently, and my 5th round pick was Noelvi Marte. And like I say, this league's a very different draft because you cut back to 15. Now, you can earn a 16th and 17th keeper if you're a non-playoff team, and that rule works as follows. Non-playoff teams only. If you win 60 or more games, you get an extra keeper. If you win 70 or more games, you get 2 extra keepers. This rule is designed to discourage tanking, and it works quite well, actually. But with so few keepers compared to the standard kind of leagues I'm in, the draft is much different. You've got a lot of players in the draft that would be kept by teams if you were protecting 30, 28, or 30 players. Or in some leagues, protecting as many as you want. I think one league only requires that you have 3 picks in the draft, so you could technically, although nobody does, you could protect 37 players and only draft 3. Nobody, of course, has ever done that. Not even close. In fact, that's a league where people get really aggressive with their cuts. Anybody in doubt gets cut. If they're on the borderline, they probably get cut. Okay, 4th inning. Brooks Robinson to lead it off. Clyde Wright, get ready to go to work. Here's the windup. The pitch to Brooks is a 4-8 righty. Pops him up left side. Fregosi will take it. 1 away, and here's Sam Bowens. Bowens started the 2nd inning rally with a 1-out single. The pitch from Clyde Wright on a 2-10. Lifts it the other way to right field. Pearsall drifting over to his right and puts it away. Here's Johnson now. Davey Johnson singled his first time up. The pitch is a 3-12 lefty. It's a Lomax right into the glove of Scholl at 3rd. So Johnson scorched that one right at Scholl, who caught it practically in self-defense. And that wraps up a 1-2-3 inning for Clyde Wright. Score still 1-0. Hello, Barbara. Welcome. So, Barbara, why don't you, if you don't mind, and don't feel any obligation, tell us a bit about your Strat-O-Matic history. Not a lot of women in the hobby. Back in my tournament days in the 80s, in all the tournaments I play in, I saw exactly 1. And a warm welcome to Dave Little. Hopefully, I haven't left anybody out in the chat. I have to confess to being a bit distracted today. Well, there's not a lot of young people in the hobby either, Al. And I missed Al, so welcome into Al. Top of the order for California, Cardinal to lead it off. One tournament I played in 1987 in San Diego, a guy and his son joined. So there was one little kid in the whole tournament. And he held his own, I'll say that. And he still plays. I've seen his name on the Star Tournament entrants from across various cities. And Barbara's heavily into payoff pitch. Okay. So I'm assuming you probably follow Demos Dave's channel. Cardinal 0 for 1 leads off the fourth. McNally into the windup. It's going to be a 5-6 right. He swung on and missed strike 3. Second strikeout for McNally. And here's Jimmy Pearsall, who I just discovered was played by Anthony Hopkins. Wow. Talk about learning something. The pitch to Pearsall, 6'4" righty, grounder to short X. That's going to be Aparicio. 1E18, here's the play, into the hole on a 13. He's got it, plants and throws in time. You just don't get much through the left side of that Baltimore infield. With 2 down and nobody on, here's Fregosi. McNally with the pitch. And that's a 2-12 lefty. High fly ball to deep left field. Bowen's back at the track, at the wall, and makes the catch at the wall. That was scary. Fregosi gave it a ride. Bowen's able to go back and get it, and that wraps up the fourth. Which year, Barbara? Or I'm sorry, Tony Perkins, not Anthony Hopkins. So just to be clear here, and by the way, welcome Joel, Sonoma Joel. Oh yeah, a very fun year for the Mets. I've heard from a couple of people here that have played that in Strat-O-Matic, and they claim they cannot get the Mets to produce up to what you think they should in 1986. Seems like they always let them down a little bit. Okay, just to clarify, Perkins was the guy in Psycho, right? That's who we're talking about. Hang on, I'm going to refill my coffee. And a damn fine cup of coffee it is. I'll tell you that right now. Al, you're just confusing things. That's funny, though. Oh, my goodness. I wonder how Anthony Hopkins feels about being most recognized for that movie. And I loved the movie, don't get me wrong, but this man had a long and illustrious career. I'm not sure that's exactly the part he would like to be most remembered for, let's put it that way. What are you looking at there, Mookie? Are your buddies out? Oh man, I forgot to upload that Coda clip. I'll try to get to that today. Alrighty, it's the 5th inning. Bottom third for Baltimore. Paul Blair's sacrifice fly in the second drove in the only run of the game so far. Clyde right into the windup. That's a 3-5 lefty. Hard smash to third, fielded by Shaw. 1 away. Here's Etchebarren now, singled his first time up. Here's the windup and the pitch from right. It's a 4-7 righty. There's that 4-7 again to 19. It's a base hit. Third time that's been rolled. And Andy Etchebarren is 2 for 2. McNally, a B bunter, right-handed batter, 3-hitter. He's going to swing away on a 1-8, double to 4, base hit for McNally, and he's got the double. Holy cow. Talk about playing a hunch. Dave McNally helping his cause with a 1-out double. Stopping at third is the catcher Etchebarren. But the Orioles now threatening in the fifth with second and third and 1 away. And the Angels will have to pull the infield in for Luis Aparicio. Oh, Jeremiah, that sounds fabulous. I tried a new sandwich shop close to me. It's quite good. Boy, you're not kidding, Ernest. You could say that 5 days out of the week, probably. Infield in for Luis Aparicio. 1 for 2. Right checks the runner. Breaking ball. 3-4. Fly ball to right field. B question mark. Pearsall makes the catch. Etchebarren can tag. 9-11. Pearsall +1 at 12. That's the second out. He's going to tag up and try to score. Here he comes. Here comes Etchebarren. To 12. The throw to the plate. He scores. McNally will stay put. And the Orioles lead it 2-0. Bring your own wine. Yeah, I got it. I was a big wine guy up until a few years ago, and I still enjoy it. I just don't drink it as much as I did then. Hey, here comes the Mook. Looks like he was just out of frame there. He passed just to the right of where my pen is sitting. Runner at second for Powell. Powell struck out both times against Clyde Wright. 1-7, swung on and missed. Strike 3, and it's the hat trick for Boog Powell. So Wright appears to have Powell's number today. Orioles settle for a run on 2 hits and leave a man. And we're halfway home. Orioles leading a close game, 2-0. Any particular varietal is your favorite, Barbara? Or in a more general question, do you prefer reds or whites or both? I'm definitely a red guy. Pretty much anything but Zinfandel. And I used to really like Zinfandel until they started pushing up the alcohol content too high. I don't like a wine that leaves a lot of alcohol on the finish. Angels batting in the bottom of the fifth. Joe Adcock will start it off. Oh, sangria. Oh, I haven't had that in ages. Billy Joel, scenes from an Italian restaurant. Hello, Victor. I haven't seen you in a long time. Welcome to the chat. Pitch to Adcock. That's a 2-5 lefty. High fly ball to center. Blair backing up. Double to 5, and that's going to be over Blair's head. Adcock rounds heads for second, and he's in with a double. The first Angel hit of the ball game. That'll bring up team home run leader Rick Reichart, representing tying run at the plate. So McNally bearing down now. Checks the runner. Full windup on a 2-6 lefty. He loses in ball 4. A walk to Reichart, and the first 2 Angels reach in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the second baseman, Knopp. Knopp with 4 home runs and 27 RBIs. Most impressive number for Bobby Knopp, of course, would be the 10 triples. Knopp also among the strikeout leaders with 69. McNally into the windup. 4-7 righty. Ball 4 and the bases are loaded. Holy cow. So McNally, just cruising headed into the inning, has loaded the bases with nobody out. And Paul Shaw will be the hitter. And now Echeverren headed out to the mound. Thunderbird, which I remember by ZZ Top, although I know they weren't the first to do it. What the hell? There goes my coaster. Yeah, it's stuck to the bottom of the cup. Leading by 2, the Orioles are going to play this at double play depth. McNally trying to coax the ground ball. Here comes the pitch to Shaw on a 6-10 righty. Fly ball to center field, fairly deep. Blair back to make the catch. Adcock will tag up and score, and the Angels are on the board. On the B, or is that no, B's to right field only. Runner can tag up and go to third. Here's Satriano now, 1 down, first and second. McNally studying the signs. The pitch to Satriano. 3-6, and it's ball 4. The third walk in the inning by McNally. Very uncharacteristic for Dave McNally. He's walked 3 batters in the inning to reload the bases. And here's the pitcher, Clyde Wright. Wright, a B bunter and a terrible hitter. Taking all of that into consideration, the Orioles will bring the infield in. That should kill any chance of the squeeze play. So Wright, a right-handed batter, will swing away on a 4-10 righty. He lifts it to center field. That's going to be deep enough to tie the game. Blair makes the catch. Reichart tags and scores. And Clyde Wright drives in the tying run on a sac fly. So 2 sac flies in the inning. 2-2 ball game, and here's Cardinal. McNally trying to get out of this inning. The pitch to Cardinal is a 3-5 lefty. He pops him up. Shortstop, Aparicio waving his arms. He'll take it. And that will retire the side, but not before the Angels tie it. 2 runs on just 1 hit. 3 walks and 2 sacrifice flies. Very strange inning indeed. I'll tell you, Larry, I was never a Dead fan until I saw them live. And that changed my opinion completely. There are some bands that you just have to see them. World's Worst Gamer has joined us. Hello there. Just finished a broadcast with the 1920 Pirates clinching the National League. Yeah, I'm definitely not a deadhead. Maybe a bedhead. Sixth inning now in a tie ball game. Let's check the endurance. I think they're both 7s, and they are. As we go to the 6th, the Orioles will have the heart of the order. Frank Robinson 0 for 2 today. Clyde Wright gets the sign. There's the windup down the pitch. It's a 1-8 left-handed. He lines that one into left field for a leadoff single. Robinson aboard. Not held at 12. No threat to steal. And here's Brooks. Brooks 0 for 2. Right from the stretch now. Comes in with a 4-8 righty and pops him up on the left side for Gossi. Will take it. 1 away for Sam Bowens. Bowens 1 for 2. Wright's pitch is a 6-6 righty. Flies it to straightaway center. Cardinal is there to make the catch. And it'll be up to Dave Johnson. Johnson 1 for 2 today. Robinson takes his lead. Right a glance over there. Now comes in with a 1-3 just outside ball 4, and Davy Johnson takes the walk. So Frank Robinson down to second with the potential go-ahead run, and Paul Blair at the plate. Blair 0 for 1 with the sac fly. Blair's 29 RBIs would place him 6th on the team. Clyde Wright with the pitch. 6-5 right-handed, swung on and missed strike 3. Big strike out there for Clyde Wright to end the inning. No runs, a hit, 2 left. Battle of the lefties here today. This game has certainly lived up to the advanced billing. And we move to the bottom of the 6th. The Angels will send up Pearsall, Fregosi, and the dangerous Joe Adcock. McNally gets the sign. The windup and the pitch to Pearsall. It's a 6-5 right-handed. Shortstop X, that's going to be Aparicio again. Ranges to his left. 118 on a 3. Diving stop behind the bag to his feet and throws him out, and Aparicio does it again. That's right, it's another web gem, robbing Pearsall of a base hit. That's 2 web gems in the game for the Gold Glove shortstop. And with one out, here's Jim Fregosi. McNally set now. Fastball, 2-5, just misses inside, and it's a walk. So McNally suddenly having control problems in the middle innings. The last thing he wanted to do, I'm sure, was issue a free pass right in front of Joe Adcock. Let's check Fregosi's speed. He's a star 16. 14 held at 12. The pitch to Adcock out of the stretch. That's a 3-5 left-handed. That ball is absolutely crushed to dead center. Blair starts back and then just watches it fly, and Joe Adcock strikes again. Adcock, a prodigious blast to the deepest part of the ballpark, and for Adcock, that's his 8th home run of the season, and it gives the Angels a 4-2 lead. Taking another look at that one on a 3-5 lefty, no doubt about it. Look at the home runs in that threes column. McNally revving up a new ball. Here's Rick Reichart. The pitch from McNally is a 2-8 lefty, and he hits him. Retaliation? Perhaps. Reichart drilled by the pitch. He'll take his base. He's also a star stealer. 13 not held. Knopp and Shaw do up. They're going to hold him on at 11. McNally now out of the stretch to Knopp. 1-8. He walks him. So McNally's control has completely fallen apart here in the middle innings. And we're going to have activity here in the Baltimore pen. Eddie Watt, the right-hander, throwing. And throwing in a hurry as Echeverren goes out to the mound. McNally, normally with impeccable control, is really battling it here. He's walked 5 and hit a batter in the last 2 innings after sailing through the first 4. Whole infield's out there. Here comes Bill Haller. He's going to break it up. Man, McNally will face Shaw. Here's the pitch. 4-11 righty. That's a base hit into left field. Reichart can try to score on that. 13. Bowen's a -1. 12. They're going to hold him up. And I'll tell you this much, if there was a right-handed batter at the plate, McNally would be gone right now. As it stands, they're going to let him pitch to Satriano. Could be his last batter. Infield at double play depth. There's only 1 out. The pitch to Satriano. 5-4 lefty is catcher's card. That's going to be Echeverren, a 2-E6. On a 5, that's going to be a wild pitch followed by a pop out, so another run will score. Reichart scores on the wild pitch. Knopp to third, Schall to second. There's 2 down and the pitcher up. And this will definitely be his last batter. Here's the pitch to right. 2-10, and he walks the pitcher. Oh my goodness. I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. And Bauer's going to come out and come get him as the Angels bat around in the 6th. We'll look for a double switch. I don't know where we're going to find it, though. We could take Bowens out, I suppose. Don't really want to take Blair out. That's what we'll do. The pitcher's going to go in Bowen's spot. And we'll find a left fielder to go into the 9 spot. Angels still have a left-hander out there. Russ Snyder will come in and take over in left. Snyder, a 2E6 with a +2 arm, good speed. So McNally hits the showers. The score is 5-2 Angels now, and in comes the right-hander, Eddie Watt, to face Jose Cardinal. I know, Dave. Can you believe it? My thinking, obviously, was all he had to do was get the pitcher out, and then we'd pinch hit for him in the 7th. But not to be, as he walks the pitcher on the only thing on the card, of course, the 2-10. As Eddie Watt gets loose, let's look at his numbers. 1-0, 2 saves. ERA of 0.96 in 28 innings of work, just 20 hits allowed, 15 strikeouts, facing the right-handed Cardinal with the bases loaded and 2 down. I cannot remember the last time I saw a pitcher lose control like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 walks and a hit batter within 2 innings. Watt ready to go to Cardinal. Here's the pitch. 3-6 righty, rolls it to short. Aparicio shovels it the short way to Johnson. And that'll do it. Three runs for the Angels, however, on 2 hits. And Clyde Wright takes the mound in the 7th with a 3-run lead, 5-2 Angels. So the Orioles' 8-game winning streak in jeopardy now. First endurance inning for Clyde Wright. I may have stuck with McNally too long, but frankly, I just couldn't believe it. Can you blame me? The man only walked 64 batters in 213 innings. All right, Etchebarren to lead it off. He's 2 for 3. Right into the windup. 111, it's crushed to left field. Backing up is Reichard at the track, at the wall, it's gone. Andy Etchebarren with a leadoff home run. On a 111, 1-16, he rolls the 7. And for Andy, that's his 8th home run of the season. That makes it 5-3. And the batter will be Russ Snyder. Snyder hitting .239 on the year. No home runs. Right with a 1-6. Base hit up the middle for Snyder. And now one more hitter walk will fatigue Right. That's going to get him stirring in the California pen as the Orioles come charging right back. Snyder, an excellent base runner, not much of a base stealer. Right, left, right, right, and then the pitcher. Jack Sanford, the right-hander, throwing in the Angels' pen. Aparicio, the batter, he's 1 for 2 with a sac fly. Right out of the stretch. Here's the pitch. It's a 1-7. Ground ball to short. Fergosi to Knopp for 1. On to first, double play. And man, that's exactly what Clyde Wright needed. 6-4-3 double play. Now there's 2 out, nobody on for Boog Powell. Powell has struck out all 3 times today against Clyde Wright. Right into the windup. 2-6 lefty, just outside ball 4, and that fatigues Right. And here comes Rigney. He's going to go get him. A 9-pitch at bat to the Boog ends up in a walk, and that's it for Right. With Frank Robinson coming up, Brooks on deck, Jack Sanford will be coming on. We can close the book on McNally. 5 2/3, only 3 hits allowed. But oh my God, the bases on balls. He struck out 2. Right goes 6 2/3. 8 hits, 3 runs so far. He walked 2, struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Jack Sanford on in relief. Runner at first, 2 down for Frank Robinson. Sanford ready to go to work. Gets the sign. The pitch on a 1-7. That's hit high and deep to left. That's over Reichardt's head for extra bases. Triple on a 1. It'll be a double. Powell can round and try to score on that. 9-11 to center, -2, 1 through 9. The score now is 5-3. They're going to hold Powell at third. There would be times I would go for that, but not with Brooks Robinson coming up. The pitcher's on deck. They could put him on. If they do, you're probably looking at Kurt Blefary, and then the Angels would have to make a pitching change. Minnie Rojas now throwing in the Angel pen. So if you're Bill Rigney, would you rather have Sanford pitching to Brooks Robinson or Rojas pitching to Blefary? Brooks is 0 for 3 today. They are going to take their chances with Brooks. So 5-3 Angels. The tying runs are in scoring position with 2 down and Brooks Robinson at the plate. Sanford gets the sign. Here's the windup and the pitch. It's a 2-8. He rolls it to short. Fregosi has it. Throws him out, and the Orioles strand a pair. They'll settle for a run on the Echeverrin home run. And as we go to the stretch, it's Angels 5, Orioles 3. And Mookie's ready. We know that. He doesn't look ready. Well, let's take a look at him. He was more active earlier, but as is fairly typical, he just turns into a wallflower by the 7th inning stretch. What are we looking at today, Mookie? Huh? What are we looking at today? I don't see anything out there. Would you like something to eat? That seems like a stupid question. That was not very graceful, Mook. The Mookster, indeed. Did you bother to chew any of those at all, or just inhale them? Huh? Oh, that's great. The one treat to have when you're having more than one. I looked away, said Eric Clapton. goodness. Okay, coffee. Definitely better than yesterday, but still lately I've just been just very low energy. It seems like I fight myself just to make my legs move. Eddie Watt, who got Cardinal to end the sixth, will come back out there. 5-3 the score. Jimmy Pearsall will lead things off. Eddie Watt into the windup. Here's the pitch now. It's a 1-7 righty. He rolls it over to short where Aparicio scoops it up and throws him out. Aparicio has been very busy once again at shortstop. And with one down, here's Fregosi. The pitch from Eddie Watt is a 2-8 righty. High fly ball to left, backing up his Snyder at the track, at the wall, off the wall for extra bases. Fregosi rounds and will hold at second with a 1-out double. Fregosi's first hit of the ball game. And here's Joe Adcock, who's done most of the damage with a double and a 2-run homer. It's funny, and of course I wasn't there. I mean, I wasn't really a baseball fan yet in '66. And certainly too young to be questioning or second-guessing managers. But looking back at it now, why in the world was Rigney continually handing at bats to Norm Seaburn? I would have been playing Adcock every day. Of course, hindsight is 20/20. Watt pitching to Adcock. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch on a 6-3 righty. Fly ball to right field X. That's Frank Robinson. Robinson, a good outfielder. He's on his horse, 2-5. Here's the play on a 19. He runs it down in the gap. Nice running catch by Frank Robinson. Back to the bag goes Fregosi. It'll be up to Reichart. He's at a blindfolded dart tournament. He was here earlier. Ben, are you still here? Fregosi at second, 2 down. Watt a glance at Fregosi, comes to the plate. 6-3 righty, fly to right, same number, fly to right field X. Frank Robinson, let's do it again. 2-5, Robinson on his horse. Another nice running catch by Frank Robinson. So a couple of fine plays by the Hall of Fame outfielder. And that wraps up the seventh. The Angels leave a man. And the score remains the same. As we go to the eighth, checking the defense for the Angels, which looks pretty good. That's good enough. And we will begin the eighth with Baltimore sending up a pinch hitter for Eddie Watt. So Eddie worked 1 1/3, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. And the batter will be Bleffery. Bleffery on the season. 286 average, 13 home runs, 41 RBIs. We haven't got much out of the beer batters lately unmitigated, I have to say. Here's Sanford now with the windup. The pitch to Bleffery is a 1-7 righty. Struck him out. That'll bring up Davy Johnson. 1 for 2 with the walk. Sanford into the windup. 4-7 righty. Liner to third. Single to 11. That's going to be speared by Shaw. And with 2 down, it'll be Paul Blair. The pitch from Sanford is a 5-8 righty. Pops him up right side. Adcock will take it. And Sanford with a 1-2-3-8. The score still 5-3. And now joining Rojas in the Angel pen is Bob Lee. We're going to also need a new Oriole pitcher. All righties coming up. Hall or Drabowski? Let's see who needs work the most. Other than that, it's pretty close. It's going to be Drabowski. So the Ski enters. Let's check his numbers while he tunes up. 1-0, 1.53 in 35 and a third innings, 35 strikeouts. Only 21 hits allowed in 35 and a third innings. Drabowski, about as extreme as a righty-leaning pitcher as you will see. But the Angels with all right-handed hitters in the lineup, so why not? Knopp walked twice, flew out to center. Drabowski into the windup. 2-7 righty. Knopp goes the other way with it and drops it into right field in front of Robinson for a base hit. That'll bring up the third baseman, Paul Shaw. Shaw is 1 for 2 with a sac fly. Drabowski working out of the stretch now. 4-6, swung on and missed, strike 3. R9R in computer lingo, yes sirree. In fact, I don't know if you noticed or not, Dave, but on the relief pitchers, I've penciled in some of those numbers just to help my memory. Not that I would need any help when it comes to Drabowski, but for some of them it's helpful. Here's the only lefty, Satriano. 0 for 2 with the walk. Drabowski out of the stretch. It's a 5-6, swung on and missed, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Drabowski. And the Angels are going to hit for Sanford, since Bob Lee is going to be coming in anyway. And they're going to send up Ed Kirkpatrick. Oh, wow, Dave, did you play that too? Yeah, we sure did, didn't we? I'd have their on base, their total bases, their ground ball A's, their clutch, pretty much anything I could fit on there. I should pull out some of my cards from those days. I should pull out my 86 cards that won San Diego in 87. The only tournament I ever won, although I was runner-up twice. Pitching to Kirkpatrick now. Here's the pitch. It's a 1-5 right-handed. Liner to second, single to 4, and he just misses it as Johnson leaps up and makes the catch. Holy smoke. That looked like it was headed for right field, but Johnson got it. And we go to the ninth. 5-3 Angels. Bob Lee will take the mound. I want to thank everybody for being here. Bob Lee, the stopper, 13 saves on the year, 1-3 record, 2.62. Standing in his way, Echeverrin, Snyder, and Aparicio. Echeverrin has not been retired today. Singled in the second, singled in the fifth, and homered in the seventh. Lee gets the sign. Dave, did you play back when it was TBA under John Cruz? Just curious. Lee into the windup. The pitch to Andy Echeverrin on a 6'9 righty. Grounder shortstop X. Tough chance for Fregosi. Fregosi, 236. Here it is on a 15. He's into the hole, makes the stop, plants and throws in time. Nice play for Fregosi to get the first out. Here's the left fielder, Russ Snyder. Snyder singled his only time up. So you never met Cruz. Lee with the windup and the pitch to Snyder. It's a 1-11. Goes the other with it and pokes it wide to third. Shaw to his left to plug up the hole. Twists and fires in time. And the Orioles down to their last out. It'll be Aparicio. Lee. Deep breath on the mound. Now the windup. The pitch to Aparicio. 6'5 righty. Rolls it to first. Adcock has it. Tosses it to Lee, and that's the ball game. So the Orioles' 8-game winning streak comes to an end. Angels win it 5-3. Totals in a moment. Lee picks up the save. That's his 14th save. Sanford 1 1/3, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and a strikeout. So all 3 of the runs charged to Clyde Wright, who is the winner. His record improves to 3-4. McNally takes the loss and drops to 7-4. Grabowski with an inning. 2 strikeouts. Player of the game. I would say Adcock. Yeah, I met him. I played quite a few with Cruz. But you know the whole story. That's the main thing. Yeah, he was a crook and a cheater. Player of the game is going to be Joe Adcock. Angels, 5 runs, only 5 hits. No errors. Orioles, 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors. And you'd have to say that the sudden lapse of control by McNally cost the Orioles dearly in this one. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, everybody. Let's see what's on tap, shall we? What is going on here? Sometimes windows just pop open for no reason. Tomorrow we're going to have the Mets and at the Cubs. Starting pitchers. It's the Cellar Dwellers series. Bob Friend against Ken Holtzman. The 2 bottom feeders in the National League. I didn't know about Vince, Dave. That's very interesting. Cruz supposedly earned the money to put the down payment on his first house by counting cards at blackjack. And his wife's parents didn't like him very much. This was by his own admission, by the way. Of course, I'm sure he's not the only guy that could ever make that claim. So I'm not sure what that proves. Really nothing. So that's it for this one. Holy cow. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks everybody once again for being here. Oh, look at this now. Now he's over there. He's got the pink ball and the snacks. He's laying there thinking, I want both of these things. And on that note, another brief glimpse at the Mook, I'm going to end this one. Take care, everybody. Please join me tomorrow. Have a great evening. Thank you and goodbye.